Dawn was inspired by Frida Kahlo, and we took elements of what she had with the braids, with the flowers, and then with the hair down and loose to make it more modern. Frida was kind of known for her center part, really slicked down. So we kept that element through the hair, and with her two braids, we kept the braids onto the side, and we brought it to the middle, and then just cross the braids, and then just whatever you have in your garden.
Dawn wanted the inspiration to draw from Frida's inspiration for the flowers, so the fuchsia color. So him and I had first decided on a stain, either in the fuchsia or berry family. So I used a MAC pencil on the outside to define the lip, and then a lipstick by Pat McGrath Labs. So something a bit lighter in the center and something a bit darker on the outside creates dimension on stage. The eye is just something to enhance the natural shape. So we created a winged liner, and if you look at all the girls, each girl's eye is a little bit different. We wanted the skin to look like the girl's skin. On your wedding day, you want to look like yourself. So we definitely went with a more natural approach to give that glowing effect.
I've always been a huge fan of Frida Kahlo, and then seeing the exhibit in Brooklyn earlier this year just blew my mind away. Not only seeing her wardrobe and her sense of style, but I learned more about her personal battles, her inner strength. She was a formidable woman with a lot of challenges. She overcame those challenges with beauty and grace and dignity, and for me that was the flashpoint that started this collection. Frida Kahlo, she had a very specific look, and I didn't want to be too literal in the interpretation for the collection, but there is a look that the volume, the ruffles that I wanted to bring to the show, which you'll see. She was quite the extraordinary woman. So in the show, true to Theia, I have my signature crepes, which are close to the body, but then we have volume and ruffles that you'll see. A tad of color, you'll see a little bit of color. Her love of flowers, so there's flowers embroidered on the dresses, there's silk flowers on gowns. And then a little nod to Diego, there's a little beaded vest with a satin trousers. Frida also had this penchant for masculine clothing, so there were suits. She wore men's suits often, so that was my nod to the masculine side of Frida. And then there's a second current running through the show. I have a very dear friend in Ireland that I've known since she was a baby, and she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when she was 18 months old. She needed a dress that she could be comfortable in, that would work with her body, and she found the perfect dress at Theia. And she was so grateful that it fit her body, she was comfortable, the dress wasn't wearing her, and for me as a designer, it was sort of a validation of what we strive to do at Theia, making all women, no matter their body shape or their needs, they can all find a dress at Theia. We have a very special model in the show today. Her name is Brie Scalisi. And again, highlighting women with different body shapes and different needs. Brie is the most gorgeous woman I know. She's so much fun. She was a pleasure to work with. And I wanted to represent a woman in a wheelchair. My dear friend Julie can walk with the aid of sticks, but more often than not she's in a wheelchair. And I have a huge fan in Ireland, this little girl called Michaela, who's also in a wheelchair at the age of, I think she's 10, and she wants to be a fashion designer when she grows up, and she keeps sending me sketches. So for these women, it's important to see themselves represented on the runway, and I'm taking inclusivity to another level and just showing another beautiful woman on a runway and showing how beautiful they can be in their Theia wedding gown. The essence of Theia is the goddess, and it's about light and radiance, and the true essence is that it comes from the inside out, but I do like to put it on the outside also, just to emphasize the light. So beading is really important to me, and this particular gown towards the end of the show was so heavily beaded. The gown took almost 2 months to make. The beads are micro, teeny tiny beads in a beautiful swirling pattern that flows around the body, similar to the vines of the bougainvillea in her garden. It's heavy, it hugs the body, it's sexy, and it just gleams. It's the epitome of the goddess coming down the runway. Frida loved to wrap herself in scarves and shawls, and fuchsia was her favorite color. It's a classic crepe gown, but I put a magnificent silk organza shawl over it. So I'm accentuating my bride with a wonderful fuchsia cape/train, which looks magnificent. She loved roses. There were lots of beautiful flowers in the garden. You'll see the bougainvillea here behind us. So there's a beautiful floral printed gown, very soft and ethereal and dreamy. And then the finale gown is this magnificent, we call it the calo. It's this gorgeous fuchsia organza gown. It's such a magnificent, vibrant punch of color for that bride that really wants to stand apart, which would have been Frida. The obvious reference is Frida, but I've had these women in my life and felt this was the perfect moment to finally represent them on the runway.